Hey Internet, it's RJ. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning into the show today. Now, today's episode, we are going to look at the newly formed, or new again, Truist Bank. That's right, they've been in the news a lot. So we're going to take a look at first getting to know Truist Bank, how they came to be. Then, of course, we're going to touch on their points, earnings, and redemptions, their personal and business cards. Then we're going to come out on the other end with a decision on are these cards that you should consider carrying in your wallet. So if that sounds interesting to you, then of course, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Let's get to work. Okay, first things first, let's start off the show by learning a little bit more about Truist Bank and how they came to be. Alright, so classic did you know slide here. So Truist Bank, they were created in 2019 between a merger between SunTrust and BB&T. So Truist is headquartered in Charlotte, North Carolina. You can see in point number 3 all the states that they service, plus the DC area. And as a result of this merger, they have become the 10th largest bank in the U.S. with about $509 billion in assets. And interestingly enough, they're also the 7th largest insurance broker in the world with $2.27 billion in annual revenue in that space. And with that said, now we know a little bit more about Truist Bank and how they came to be. So let's take a look at their points and redemptions next. So the points and redemptions are as follows. Their cards are going to earn cashback points or miles. And from everything that I saw, this is basically the same thing, which you'll kind of see. It's more so related to how they brand the individual card. Is a cashback or a travel card, for example. So two things to be aware of here. First of all, there is an expiration warning. So your points are only good for 5 years from the earn date before they expire. And number 2 is if you're going to do a cashback redemption, it has to be a minimum of $25 to redeem. Now, as far as redemptions, you're going to get all the classics here: cashback, statement credit, gift cards, travel, and merchandise. Now, before we get into the cards themselves, there's going to be one thing that could be very important here, and that is what they're calling a loyalty points boost through Truist. So let's take a look at that, because it's going to come into play on a lot of these cards, and then on the back end, we'll go ahead and apply it once we understand it and see if it makes or breaks these cards. So what Truist here is calling a loyalty cash bonus. This loyalty cash bonus is based on your deposit relationship with the bank, specific to redeeming points into a Truist Bank account. So you can see on screen here, you can get 50% points boost with 100,000 plus with Truist, 25% points boost with 25K plus, and less than 25K, that's going to give you 10% of a points boost. Now, I did have to dig through the terms and conditions here, and interestingly enough, if you look on their cards, on their card landing page, it just says a deposit relationship. Now, a deposit account is technically like a checking, savings, or like even a money market account. It's not an investment account. That's obviously going to play a difference because, you know, they're talking about 100K in capital. So if you go through the terms and conditions, it does actually specify it's a combined relationship balance between a deposit account and investments. Truist also has an investment to self-directed brokerage account if you're interested. So just keep that in mind. We're going to come back to this point once we go through the cards themselves and try to apply this loyalty boost to see what it does for us. So with that being said, let's now jump into the cards, and we'll start out with the personal cards first. Okay, so batting leadoff, we have the future card. So no annual fee, multipliers, there's none to be had, and that's because this is your typical balance transfer low APR card. So 0% APR for the first 15 months on purchases, then 0% APR on balance transfers made within the first 90 days. Now, next up, we have the Enjoy Cash secured card. So weirdly enough, this is a secured card with an annual fee of $19. On the other end, there are multipliers to be had, which is also unique for most secured cards. So here you're going to get 3x on gas stations and 2x on groceries and utilities. That's up to $1K a month in combined spend. Now, the benefits here, this also has the loyalty cash bonus that I talked about, and it is important to note, as this is a secured card, a security deposit is required up to the approved credit limit. Now, moving on, we have the Enjoy Cash card. So this is going to be a bit of a choose-your-own-adventure card. So clocks in at a $0 annual fee. Now, your multipliers, you're going to get one of two options. This is the adventure part. So option 1, you could get 3x on gas stations and 2x on groceries and utilities. Again, up to $1K a month in combined spend. Or option number 2 is going to be 1.5x on all purchases. So when you apply for the card, you just have to pick which option you want. Now, benefits here, again, this is also going to have the loyalty cash bonus based on your deposit relationship. Now, next up, we have the Enjoy Travel Card. So this one also has a no annual fee. Multipliers here are going to be 2x miles on hotels, airfare, and car rentals. Now, the benefits here are a little bit interesting. Again, we do have the loyalty cash bonus once again, but you also have an $85 for TSA PreCheck or global entry. It's important to note here, the way I'm reading this on the site, it says you're going to get $85 for either one of those. Now, $85 will cover TSA PreCheck, I believe, but global entry is $100, which would leave you $15 shy. So it's not bad because it's a no annual fee card, but just understand the way I'm interpreting this. If you go global entry, you won't get enough to cover the full amount of the membership. Now, next up, we have the Enjoy Beyond card. This is kind of their flagship travel card, if you will, so we're clocking it at an annual fee of $195. Multipliers here, you're going to step up to 3x on airfare, hotels, and car rentals, and another 2x on dining. Now, the benefits here, you've got the TSA PreCheck or global entry again, and a $100 annual travel experience credit. And with that said, we jump over to the business cards next, and the first one is literally straight to business because it's just called the business card. So no annual fee here, multipliers none to be had because once again, this is your classic low APR balance transfer business card. So 0% APR on purchases for the first 12 months and a low APR after the intro APR rate expires. Moving on to the business cash card, so less adventurous than its personal counterpart, but nonetheless, you clock in at a $0 annual fee. Multipliers here, this time they're both capped, so $2K in combined spend per month, and that could be between 3x on gas stations and 2x on restaurants and office supply stores. Benefits here, again, they have the loyalty cash bonus based on deposit relationship. And last up, we have the business travel card. So this time we have an annual fee of $49, but it is waived in here, number 1. Now your multiplier is going to be 2x on airfare, car rentals, and hotels. No foreign transaction fees, which is nice. You see that $85 for TSA pre or global entry again. And of course, we have the loyalty cash bonus based on deposit relationship. And so there we have it, guys. That is the full credit card catalog for Truist Bank as of late 2021. Now, overall, their cards, they have all the bases covered more or less, the cash back, to travel, the low APR card. But again, as we kind of said in the beginning of the show, what's going to make or break these cards is that loyalty program points boost. You can see you're getting fairly average run-of-the-mill multipliers, but if we apply that, let's see what happens. But you can see you're talking about combined eligible consumer deposit and investment balances, which is important here because if we hop over to their website really quick, we're going to take a look at what the kind of savings rates you could expect because this could play a factor in your decision. So when you talk about rates here, you can see the tiers on the left-hand side, the rate and the APY on the right. So what you can have, we just go down to the second to last one, which is that $100,000 range, which is going to max out your points boost at 50%. You can see here, well, I guess it really doesn't matter. They're paying the same rate and APY all the way down, which is not awesome because if you come over to their own savings calculator here, you can see if you went with the current savings of $100,000 again to max that out, didn't put anything else in, just put it in once a year. At their current rate, you're looking at making $10 in interest for that time. Now, they factor in some taxes and inflation, but that stuff's not really important to our scenario here. So the reason I end up showing you that is because, again, they say it's in combined balances, right? So you could leave $100,000, whatever. It doesn't have to be $100,000, but we're just going to operate on the $100,000 for right now to get you that max boost. You could have it in a savings account, in a checking account, in a money market account, or in your investment account. Now, you're not really going to want to put that much capital in any of those deposit accounts because, again, we can see their rates. Again, these rates, unfortunately, aren't uncommon. You really need to deal with like an Ally or something to get good interest rates. So as a result, if you're going to consider this option, I would make sure the primary amount of your capital or the bulk of your capital is with one of the investment accounts, self-brokerage, or something like that. And in fact, if you do bank with Truist and you have any experience with their platform, you use it maybe, let us know down below. You could help a lot of people make a decision with your insights. Okay, so now we've covered their full loyalty bonus program, looked at the accounts and everything. Let's take this final part, given the opinion, in three different perspectives. So first of all, if you're the person who has $100,000 to put with Truist Bank, you're trying to figure out if it's worth it for the credit cards. Well, again, I think the cards, they come out as average, but that's kind of the point because they want you to go after this program. So the quickest and the easiest comp that I draw in my head while doing this is Bank of America. So Bank of America has a preferred reward system that works fairly similar to this. It caps out at $100,000 in capital with them. Of course, I think they're adding a tier, in process of adding a tier that goes higher than that. So 100K equals platinum honors with Bank of America. And actually, if you take a look at the Bank of America chart for their credit card specifically, if you have that much money with them in platinum honors, instead of a 50% boost like you get with Truist, you actually get a 75% boost. So your points earnings go up a little bit more with Bank of America. Now, it's important to note here, Bank of America, they apply that 75% extra onto the front end, onto the actual multiplier, as opposed to when you redeem. So it should work the exact same way, but I've got some of the new earnings on screen. And also, Bank of America's cards are less restrictive. So their cash rewards card, that's their category card. You can pick the category quarterly, and then you can also have multiples of those, sometimes 2 to 3. And then, as well as that, the top rate becomes 5.25 with Bank of America at Platinum Honors, and then their unlimited cash card will go a little bit higher than the Truist ones. Enjoy Cash at that 1.5 will as well. So if you got $100,000, I think you'd be better served with Bank of America. The cards are less restrictive. Their program goes a little bit higher, and of course, same thing. Bank of America has Merrill Lynch, so you can put your money over there as opposed to just sitting in a checking or savings account. Now, with that said, if you're less than 100,000, you're still with Truist, or you're just trying to consider, getting a credit card from any bank, well, again, I think you'd be better served somewhere else. Because honestly, you really need that loyalty boost to make these cards competitive. 2.25 would be the second best catch-all card that I know, again, right behind the Bank of America system. However, for the most part, if you look around, you can find better cards elsewhere. Their cards, Truist cards, seem a little restricted to me on that earnings. They're kind of capped at how much you can earn a quarter or even a month, So you can get dedicated gas cards that do a little bit better, 4 or 5x on gas. Same with utilities, groceries, dining, you can do better. Now, yes, you'll end up having to have multiple cards, but again, without that loyalty boost, these cards aren't really that competitive. So that would be my result of my verdict there. If you're with Truist and you have 100K, then fine. You're not doing that terrible if you just really don't want to move it. But for everyone else, I would either go Bank of America if you have that much money, or just look around because you can find cards that are much more competitive from the top banks, as you might have guessed, the Chase, the Cities, the Amexes, people like that. So anyways, guys, if you like this one, drop me a thumbs up down below. If you find it particularly interesting, consider subscribing to the channel. Again, posting content just like this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, of course, right here every Sunday. The recap episode is all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance. My question for you guys is, again, let me know what you think about the newly formed Truist Bank. If you already bank with them and you're part of their investor self-directed investment product, then let me know about that as well. And of course, what you think about their cards. Would you move your capital over there to get the multipliers? But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this one. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you in the next one.